All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this spotlight session. I've got Mira with me, and we're going to have a really good discussion. If you tuned into my story, it's all about uncertain times and holding steady in those uncertain times. It is really uncertain times. Yeah. But I actually was talking to you yesterday, and we were saying that uncertain times, it seems like things have shifted all of a sudden. But 2 months ago, I would have been sleeping at night, not knowing what the next morning was going to hold anyway.
No, I mean, we're always in uncertainty, isn't it? It's just that we are in this illusion that we know what's going to happen tomorrow, but we actually don't.
We actually don't know. And so in those times of uncertainty, one of the things we have to try to do as best we can is to remain steady, remain grounded, to make decisions in our life. Ultimately, we have to make a decision, and we've got so many on the plate. Sometimes we get overburdened by mental hard work to figure out, what do I do next in this uncertain time?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. How do we remain steady in these times?
Well, one of the things that I do, one of the practices that I do is journaling. And it's nothing specific. I call it morning pages. It actually comes from the book Artist's Way. The idea is to get out of your mind stuff that are being held back over there. And it could be some creative ideas if you're doing it for that purpose. But in my case, I do it to get stuff that is deep inside, maybe some fears, maybe some belief system, maybe, stuff that you're not even aware, maybe your body's picking up. And so I write it all down, and then I'm much better able to manage my emotions, or what would be the word for it?
Or articulate even mentally as well. Is it a morning practice?
It's a morning practice.
So you would just go and open the book, whatever comes out, it just flows through. I've actually done this before. And it's quite interesting. As you write, more things. And it might be that the page looks jumbled, but more things come out. And when you reread it, you start to piece it together a bit like a puzzle.
And often I have insights like, oh, okay, I didn't know that I was actually thinking about this, or that I was scared of this happening, or, it regulates me better.
What about the other side of it? Too much comes out, and then you're like, oh dear, there's too much information here. I have to now figure all that out. Does that ever happen? I don't read it afterwards. Okay.
I'm just leaving it as
so it's
it
just
is.
a
Close, dump.
And dump, brain dump, leave it, close it, pack it away.
Yeah.
And what are the benefits to that in terms of, for example, we're in this situation now where it is very uncertain. We don't know how the week's going to play out. We don't know how the few months are going to play out. People are talking constantly, giving us different ideas, different perspectives. You sit together as family, they give you one perspective. You sit with friends, they give you another perspective. And then personally, I do walk away from that and I'm overwhelmed because I'm thinking, which one is the best idea? How do I understand the situation better?
I think that's what just you said earlier when we just started. It's really to get that chaos and all those thoughts out of our head so that we can have more clarity. And then when we have more clarity, we make better decisions. We're able to be more in the present moment and not be taken away with our fears.
That's all. Some might say that's all good and well. You've not experienced this before. You've not been there before. But you were sharing with me that you have been in these situations before. Are you able to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was 12 when war in ex-Yugoslavia started. So I had to flee, and we went to Serbia, and I was a refugee. And then 1999 was bombing of Serbia, and I was there when that was happening. So I've been through quite a few situations.
And you're smiling about it. Obviously, lots of people will say, I can't deal with this. I don't know why this is happening to me again.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that experience that you're here now, you thought you were coming, and then suddenly these things have happened?
I mean, I had that thought, but I don't stay with the thought for too long, and I'm things get triggered. I dealt with the past, and there were some traumatic events that affected the way I lived or how I made decisions. But you work through it. You do what you need to do. regardless, things get triggered. You get triggered with events, and my mind went into where it was before. My body went into tension and reaction. But I was fortunate enough to be able to recognize it.
But change is natural, right?
Yes.
Change happens every day on a daily basis. Things are constantly in change, in flux.
Yeah.
Even the way that the world works, it's constantly in movement and in change all the time. We're just not very perceivable. We're not perceiving it very well.
No.
We're not really seeing that things are changing. We want things to be. Why is it that we want things to be so ordered and rhythmical?
I think
without change.
I think change is unknown, no? I mean, whenever we're changing something, we are getting into unknown. We don't know what will happen. And then our brain is a prediction mechanism. It's a machine. But its job is to predict and work things out as they're happening. What happens, we fill in the blanks.
Yes.
And
so we're creating a storyline already before things have even happened. So a change has occurred, and now possibilities, what ifs, should I do this? Where should I go next? It's all being created, even though that moment hasn't happened yet. Nothing's happened yet necessarily, but we've already created the storyline.
And
for
then
it.
if you have, if you have some fears, your brain is gonna go, okay, I don't want that to happen, and so it will start working through the fears, and usually goes predicting the worst, but it's just natural. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen. It's natural that the brain works that way, and so if we can recognize it and step back.
So is that the key then? It is a natural process that the mind will create the storylines, will bring out the fears, will fill in the blanks, as you mentioned, right? And it's just being aware that's happening.
Yeah.
Not necessarily thinking, oh, what do I do now to fix all of this? Because that's going back into the brain and it's going back into the loop again, right?
Yeah.
So that brings me on to thinking about some tips, ideas that we can do on a daily practice. We mentioned journaling, which some people find they can do regularly. Maybe sometimes if you haven't tried already, even just starting, because I know that when I heard about journaling the first time, I started writing, I think I got 2 words down and then I'm like, and I think it was a pause of, I don't want to write anymore because I know that things are going to flow out as well. But that was my experience. But some other people, they just take a couple 30-second break and pause, and suddenly the page is filled and you don't even realize.
You know what I do sometimes? I'm like, I will write a sentence. I don't know what to write right now. And then it's just the starting, isn't it? And then it just starts flowing. Yeah.
So this is really important, because if we are not in the space, the head space, the mental health space, then how are we going to do all the other things? We've got a few more spotlight sessions on decision making, on these kind of things, thinking about how to understand what decision to make next, because many people struggle with that. But if you're not in your own mental health state, then it's difficult, family-wise, work-wise, what else have we got, life-wise, what your goals were going to be. Like, I know personally, sometimes you feel like, I moved to Dubai. Now what? And you think about it, and obviously it comes up. So just thinking about that, what other mechanisms are there in terms of having a structured, practical way that you, without non-negotiable, this is what you have to do on a daily basis. There's no need to overthink it. It's just like the journal. You open the book, you just write and close it and don't have to read it. But it's just a mechanism of offloading. Is there any other?
So one of the things is environment within us, within our body. And I think, the work that we do is working with the body. And so the environment that we are in, outside environment, inside environment, will affect how we think, what kind of blood, what we fill into that blank space in the future. And so the more we can keep ourselves in a good space, the environment that we can affect, internal environment, with exercise. So do something, at least go for a walk if you can't do anything else.
We've got our morning sessions.
Yeah.
They can join in. But yes, go for a walk, stretching, breathing.
Yeah, breathing, if you have a breathing practice. Meditation, I know that for some people that might not be easy thing to do, but
is the key here just trying it? Even as breathing practice or meditation, just going into, like the journaling, just going into it, breathing practice, just going into it. Because at the end of the day, what have you got to lose from going into it? But what have you got to gain? Well, potentially, if that mind is much more calmer and much more clear, has much more clarity. The first time I started doing meditation, and I don't do it as a regular practice, but I try my best to, was actually from my mom telling me, Zain, you got to check this stuff out. It's amazing. And it honestly, it feels as if like the clouds kind of clear up a little bit. It feels like all the connections that are going on inside of the brain just subtly clear away, and your communication skills are way better as well.
Oh yeah.
Just through that. And that means if you can communicate to yourself better as well, it's much more clearer. I know for sure when I get anxious or overwhelmed, a lot of the time if I'm trying to explain it to somebody, it's going to come out as
mumbo jumbo.
Literally, we call it verbal diarrhea. It's just boom, it's literally because it's not clear in my mind.
Clear. And so I think so. You could also, like, one of the things that I do when I'm feeling overwhelmed in moments, it's practice of journaling in the morning, but you can also write things as they're happening. Like if you're
throughout the day,
throughout the day, just take like I always got a notepad with me. I'll just write it down.
Write stuff down.
And then it's okay. I actually didn't know that this was the reason why I'm feeling that way.
Interesting. Another one you mentioned, actually, I think we were chatting yesterday about this, about community and having that friendship circle, family circle to offload sometimes, or even just to spend time with. I think it's going to be very, very important, especially in these times.
Yeah, I think, we were talking about me being through events and wars and stuff in the past. We are all in this together. And just because, and you can see that there's natural catastrophes, when people are in something together that is going on, they tend to be less selfish.
And more resilient.
So it naturally comes out. And I think one of the reasons why...
That's a very interesting point, actually. Sorry to come in. Just the non-selfishness. All of a sudden, what you thought was just for you becomes for us, and let's go together and let's move together. When catastrophes like this, uncertain times happen. So potentially we could say that even in uncertain times, there is a hidden positivity and there is a hidden shift that happens that actually will make you better as an individual and as a community.
Yeah, because normally, I have my problem, you have your problem, and we all separate,
now
and we don't. And now we have a shared problem. So if we could, speaking to people, connecting with people. I mean, there is lots of research made on dealing with stress and grief. There's also loss of idea of something that you had or whatever, all of that is happening internally. In community, connecting with people, it's actually pushing us to connect with people. And in the same way, it's, it creates this circle of, yes, stress is high, but then what reduces stress is human connection. And I just want to finish off with this because it just came to me now. I remember we talked about this. Hobbies. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Good.
Because I know that in uncertain times like these, we tend to just neglect the things that we actually enjoy doing, right? Obviously, there are certain circumstances that might stop you from doing certain hobbies, but a lot of hobbies we can continually do. And I remember you said to me yesterday, and I wrote it down as well, you said, it's a non-negotiable. You just have to do it. Every day, you have to commit to one of the things you enjoy doing as a hobby, whether it be art and craft, whether it would be a sport, whether it would be an exercise, whether it would be reading, whether it would be whatever. Something that puts you in your zone, because I think it's very easy to go, now this is happening and I just can't do this. Maybe there's a feeling of guilt. Maybe, I can't be selfish to do that. But this is also something that is putting us in a zone of clarity and is helping us to make better decisions, to be better to other humans, to be more present in the moment and actually
be okay.
Nice, nice. Well, if everyone's watching, if you've got any questions and comments, please put them in the comment section. And we're going to do a few more spotlight sessions. So if you have anything you want to, any topics that you want to hear about, anything that you want to discuss and from the Joint Space team, then we're more than happy to do that. This was amazing. Thanks, Mira. Honestly, I think we covered pretty much everything. We've got community, we've got checking in with each other, journaling, helping regulate your thoughts and ideas, exercising, as simple as it is, we just forget about it, non-negotiable hobbies. And also, we didn't touch on it as much, but it goes with the checking inside, but being a bit more vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
And we mentioned that, just being a bit more vulnerable and sharing what you might be feeling with people that are in a safe space. And that doesn't have to be someone you don't know, but
because space. We are all in this together. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Thanks for the reminder. Please join our WhatsApp community. It would be great because these messages will come up with the next thing that's happening, our morning sessions, our afternoon sessions. So please join the WhatsApp community and we'll happily help you and support you along the way.
Bye.